future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Online dating. I met this girl online. Online dating. I met this girl online. Clicked and fell into this date. Hey, welcome back to the Larry Yates show. Looking at me, guess what? I'm in the house. I got that Mississippi thing going. I can say it in the house. Anyway, we got an exciting show for you today. And, I'm not going to rant too much here because we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guest in the house today. And just before I introduce everybody, let me just get this out of the way, and because I need some spiritual healing. And I want you guys out there that pray for old Yates. Pray for Uncle Yates. Because, boy, I'm losing sleep over these fools out here. I've heard of young boys in the sand. I know this is cable TV, and some of you are not going to like this, but that's what young boys do. You know, young boys get in the sand, and they piss in the sand and see who can write their full name in the sand. And that's what young boys do. Some of you don't want to hear that, but that is a fact. And we just signing letters to our girlfriend by pissing in the sand. And here it is, we got two fools that's pissing, having a nuclear, let me say that again, look you guys in the eye, a nuclear pissing contest. Now, if that shit ain't scaring your ass right long in here, then, you need to pray for me, because I need to be on your side. I need to eat what you're eating. I need to drink what you're drinking. I'll even smoke what you're drinking. If this shit is not scaring the hell out of you. And the reason I'm starting out like this right here, because my doctor told me to tell everybody that's around me, go along with everything Yates say to keep him calm. Keep me calm. I'm not feeling too well here today. But anyway, because the world is in such turmoil, there's so much pain, so much anger, and such foolishness out there, I think I'm going to turn this over to one of the best spiritual healers and most wonderful. And when I call, everybody say I call myself a cosmic citizen. Well, I tell you, if there was ever a cosmic citizen that I've ever met, he's most definitely sitting right here before me today. And this is Brother Tetteh, Brother Ishmael Tetteh. And what I want to do, and thank you, Miss Carolyn Wilkins, for booking this show. You've done a wonderful job. She's been taking care of the house, the sink, the shoes. You've just taken care of everything here. And the show wouldn't be here without you. Wouldn't be what it is without you. And you have the lovely Doreene with you.
I do.
Yeah. Hi, Doreene.
Hello.
Welcome to the house.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh, before we get started,
yes.
I saw your commercial.
Yes, you did.
Give us the name of that commercial.
It's actually for diabetic nerve ending pain. It's a commercial spot with Cedric the Entertainer. And I'm the woman in the supermarket as well as in the doctor's office. Asking you if you're feeling that kind of pain, you need to step up.
I'm feeling that kind of pain right now.
And then she puts her foot on the table.
No, the hardest part about that whole thing, in the supermarket scene, I actually have my hand under my shoe. Now, what black woman does that? I can tell you directly, you want me to hold my shoe?
Yes.
That's been on the floor?
Well, thank you guys for coming here. This is going to be an exciting show, and I need some spiritual healing. Carolyn, kind of lead us into what we're doing here today. What's the show is about today?
Well, it's about what you talked about, which is the energy in the world, the fear in the world, the craziness in the world. And we're all feeling it. And whether or not we're in the U.S., where the headlines are there every day, where the news every 10 seconds, there's something else coming up, headline breaker, with news of changes of North Korea, of Iran now. But we have with us the mystic of West Africa, Brother Ishmael Tetteh, whose message is always about peace, always about the power and the impact that we can have in the world. And so I think bringing that together is a wonderful thing right now, because the vibration of the world is something that he and the mystics pray for, that we stand in a higher place and know that we're connected to an infinite power. So we can go anywhere with this conversation, but I'd like to ask Brother Ishmael what he is thinking about, because I haven't seen him since we have a newly elected president. When we last spoke, Obama was in the House. So how does the world look from the standpoint of Ghana and Africa?
You need to ask, how does it look from Brother Ishmael Tetteh's standpoint?
Yes, thank you.
Right?
That's exactly
Because
what
it
I'm
looks
asking.
like many people are getting trapped in the fear
In the rhetoric.
mongering.
Yes.
And we need to lift the world out of that to know that there are very few people who will be causing some confusion.
Yes.
And we by far outnumber them. All we need is right vision.
Yes.
The whole world keeps talking about the need for peace. And I find it very interesting that we're talking about peace, but we have never sat to ask ourselves, what does peace look like?
Yes.
We
How
have
do I
no
do it?
vision of peace. We need to be talking more about what peace looks like. It doesn't mean that wrong things don't happen. But when you are traveling to a place and you know your destination, no matter what happens, you know, let me work around this problem so I get to my destination. Ask anybody on the street, do you want peace? Yes. What does peace look like? What would a world of peace look like?
Yes.
In Etherean Mission, my church in Ghana, we have this vision we always say every Sunday and Wednesday. We say, you see, our vision is that of a unified world
Yes.
in which everyone is a catalyst that is activating and promoting the innate good in one another. If we can, for example, have such as a collective vision, a world in which I'm focused on what may I do to bring out the good in you. If I don't find it, in what way do I dig it out? What may you do to bring out the good in me? And if I see some good in you, in what way do I celebrate and promote it? If we can have such a vision, last year I posted it on Facebook and asked people, can you give me a vision, your vision of peace? And everybody just spoke about a portion of this vision. So I said, this is a very good vision then to go with or to start with. Because we have even United Nations. It is there to ensure peace. But I don't see or have not observed anything from the United Nations that gives us a vision of peace. So what are we working at? What are we working for? Where are we going?
That's a great point, because I think people get lost in their own inner dialogue.
Yes.
And then with the inner dialogue, we believe the things that we tell ourselves, whether good or bad, because it comes to us in our own voice. And therefore, the judgment within our head
It's very strong.
is strong. And what going, and I like share this, and I love the fact when you say, well, the destination. And if you look at it, if you take a ship full of passengers and no captain and just put it on the water, it'll just go anywhere with all of the people sitting in there dreaming. So I want to go X, Y, Z, I want to go this. But if you get on a ship with a captain and everybody has agreed to go from point A to point B, then you're more likely to get to point B with a better strength and in collaboration with those that is working towards the same goal until we pick a destination. What is that vision of peace? And I think that's part of the challenge.
You're very right. And picking up that captain is the problem. We always have a big body called United Nations, and it's supposed to be the body. It's supposed to be the captain of the world. Whether we have even Secretary General or what, the United Nations as a body is the captain. Unfortunately, it is sick.
It's a sick
You see, the United Nations has got within itself what will sabotage it. So it's like it has got an installed or instituted self-imploding virus within it. We have, for example, what we call the 5, the Security Council.
The Security Council.
Yes, the Security Council. And when I look at the role of the Security Council, the idea behind it is very sweet, but in executing it, it's a virus. It's probably worse than an HIV virus. It's attacking itself. Because when even the United Nations comes out with a rule that you can't go to war, or you must go to war, wherever it is, one member will say, well, I love this person, so you can't do it.
You know,
So it stops whatever it is seeking to do. But it's all starting from when you go to scripture, it says, without vision, the people perish.
Yes.
So it's like, if we don't have a vision,
No dream, no
no
vision.
dream, no
Yes.
vision, because vision will now invite you to have what I call the character for the fulfillment of the vision. And then we can start creating games and so on that will enable adults and children to start building up the character that will make us have that vision.
Yeah,
But we don't
know,
have that.
You know, when you were talking about some of the kind of spiritual quotes here, you know, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I'm just going to use an example from let's use those of you that is not Christian. Don't shave your head right now. I'm just going to make a point. And there's a passage in Revelation that says, "Behold, a pale horse, where death is his rider, and hell follow closely behind." And I love your because you look at nature a lot. Well, horse in this sense, people, what this passage is trying to tell you, the horse in this sense, pale being, is of the most intelligent beast of the field. And because the horse is the most intelligent beast of the field, that's why we don't eat it regularly around the world, because it's akin to cannibalism. It really is. But the horse represents a people that is sick, spiritually sick, where death is riding this sick people, and everywhere the people go, they create hell. So we are drinking ourselves to death. We're smoking ourselves to death. We're eating ourselves to death. We are a sick people, and we're raising hell everywhere we go. And so our leaders end up being that which we have pre-called upon ourselves, because we ourselves are sick. How can we expect to get a strong, healthy leader when we ourselves won't come together?
There's always hope.
That's
in
what
the
I like to
Pandora
hear.
box, we will at the bottom find hope. And I'm looking at one person sitting right in front of me who is the hope of the world. I mean,
You're very kind.
Yes, yourself.
You're very kind.
You see, whenever I watch a movie, I will see the hero and then the villain. And it always looks like the villain or the bad man is winning. Then eventually, the hero rises and wins. So when almost about 90%, if not 99% of movies I've watched, at the end of the day, the hero wins. So what I know is that eventually you and I are going to win if we will remain focused. Because no matter how dark a room gets, it will not swallow a streak of light. So if those of us who are vibrating with the light, we are vibrating with the possibilities that could emerge, if we will not shake our focus, we will eventually shine. And however dark the room is, people will begin to see a little more clearer every day. The same streak of light will make you see some instruments in the room. Same streak of light, 5 minutes after, you begin to see many more details you were not seeing before. Only if we hold on to the light that we are. And there are many streaks of light in the world right now. And what is happening and what is appearing as evil in the world is actually a wake-up call. That's right. And many people are waking up. Many people are saying, oh, I've been light and I have been hiding myself under the table for so long. Now it's my time to shine. So this wake-up call is for you and I to shine. That's why I'm even in America this time. Well, I always say I'm a universal citizen. I come from Africa, and nature is my teacher. So when I look into nature, look at nature, I know that eventually peace will reign. And I mean in our lifetime.
Give me an example of, because you and I talk privately about nature and how we it's
And
such a
before he
metaphor.
goes to that, can I jump in with something?
Oh, please,
quickly?
please, please.
Yes. I wanted to add that there is a perspective also from the black and brown world in this country. And I will speak more for African Americans, because when I speak to them about what's going on, there's a combination of some sadness and some concern, and at the same time, everybody will say, but we've been there before. This is not new. This is another version of leadership. You know, we had the opportunity in all of these, was it 180 presidents we've had, that one has been a black male, and now we're back to where we've been before. And the ugliness that is underneath our Constitution and what we wave as a flag is just showing up in greater numbers. But it doesn't mean we don't keep going. It doesn't mean we don't give up hope. It doesn't mean that we don't tell our children to lift their heads, to get educated, to do whatever you can do, because nothing is stopping you. There's nothing that's being done today different than 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. There's just more verbiage around it. And my concern is that we don't embrace children with a sense of fear, that we keep them with a sense of hope, a sense of understanding, a sense of knowing that what is going on outside of them in the news has nothing to do with the power and the potential within each of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just kind of bouncing off what you just said. This is nothing new, especially for black people. And in fact, for those of us that I'm coming out of my country, Mississippi, I would be completely lying if I say it's not getting better, because I've seen it's so much worse. The problem is that most of America hasn't seen this on a national level, but it has always been like this on a local level. And I akin to it back to a lady, this beautiful lady, which we call America. She's been sick for a long time, but the disease was, they put a Band-Aid on the disease, or they come along and put some oil on the disease. And then they bought beautiful clothing to cover the lady's body. But now the boils and the sores and the pus and the pain is starting to ooze out. Now we know where to go and fix it. So I totally agree with you that these are opportunities for us to the awakening. So now we know we can no longer deny that this beautiful lady called America is now sick. So now we can work together and come up with a cure. And what would that cure be, Brother Tetteh?
It starts with a vision of peace.
Yes.
And then that will build character of peace. And then that will generate the process towards peace. But you see, primarily what I see is this. We are exaggerating the pain. A little bit of bad news, and then it spreads. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we by far outnumber the little pockets of errors on the planet. So all I will share is that let us keep hope alive. Let us believe in ourselves. And this is what I know. America did not happen to be America. America is also a divine institution of God. And there's something powerful in the universe that is enough to change America. I always say America is the I am race. When you write America and you write I am race, it cancels letter by letter. America cannot fail the world. Never in the history of humanity have we had a large multicultural, multiracial nation leading the world. We have once had a Nubian country ruling the world in the world of Kemet. We have had Western and white countries ruling the world from Europe and so on. But never in the history of humanity have we had a large multicultural, multiracial nation rule the world. In this country, apart from the Aborigines, who themselves might have migrated from somewhere, everybody was brought here by some condition.
Yes.
Everybody was running from something and came here. We have run here to safety, and we must birth safety for the world. This is the melting pot for the soul of humanity. And for so long as you and I live, America will make the right decision. Sometimes, unless the seed goes rotting under the soil, it will not grow up a mighty tree. If we are seeing some rotten moments, take a deep look. A mighty tree is just springing out. I come from Africa. Nature is my teacher. I've seen the turbulence on the ocean. Underneath is calmness. Oh, I see the possibility of peace. And if you sign up with me in consciousness, we're making it happen.
But I have to say this because I know some of my listeners says some of us didn't run over here. Some of us was grabbed and snatched and brought over here. So I have to throw that one in there. But I love the fact that you look into nature, and fertilize itself most of the time is come from manure, waste. Something that we have passed through and don't want to touch or put our hands on, and has a terrible odor. But some of the greatest food sources is grown out of this manure. And so I get it. I see that that this turmoil and this rot sometimes, and this fertilizer that has been spread all over us is a great ground to grow healthy, beautiful, spiritual plants within all of us, and then we can all shine. We can all shine because that we all got to pay homage to that same sunset up there, that same one. Doreene, you're awfully quiet over there, girl. You better jump in here.
I didn't know I could. No, but I agree with a lot of what Brother Ishmael was saying, and he and I have spoken earlier in regard to he had asked me like what's going on here regarding that, and I think this is the time for people to be awake. Everyone now is awake. They've sat down for 8 years, sometimes 12 years or 16 years, thinking the country is supposed to do something for them, and now everyone is awake. They've had their coffee, a biscuit, and they're ready to stand up and fight for what it is they believe in, and that is the time that we're in right now. You cannot act as if the government has never lied to you before. It has lied. We now have the internet. You now can find out what's going on. So now you're aware of what is being said to you, what is being done towards you. And it's about time for you to say, what is my recourse for this? What do I believe in? And that's the time we're in right now.
And what am I willing to do?
Exactly.
Yes.
To bring about the peace that I want.
How do I step up? Yes. How do I step
Carolyn,
up?
you're a spiritual leader within your own right. So tell our audience a little bit about where you see us going spiritually.
From a place of spirituality, we have our choices.
Yes.
We can choose how we're going to show up in this world, because everybody's not here to do the same thing. We all have the opportunity to say, what is guiding me? Am I here to be a place of compassion? Do I reach out and touch the children and elders of the world? Am I here to be an educator? Do I bring forth the level of intelligence? Am I here to be a lover? Is it my role to make sure people feel comfortable? Am I here to bring laughter and joy? Because that's what some people are here to do.
Yes.
And every time you see them, they have a joke.
Am
I here, whatever it is you're here to do. Am I here to gather people? Some people are artists. They're dancers. They're musicians. And so be whoever you're meant to be. But do it with gladness. Do it with joy. Do it with understanding that no one owes you anything, but you're here to bring out the gift that you have to offer.
But it's also in knowing that you could transform lives through using your gifts.
Through using
whether
the
you're
gift,
telling jokes or if you're dancing or healing or talking or just being. A smile can heal you, can transform your
Absolutely.
life. So it's about knowing that whoever you are and whatever you're doing, there's a purpose.
Yes.
You serve a mighty purpose.
And
in the
not
world.
trying to be somebody else.
Exactly.
So
don't fight a cause that's not yours.
Yes, right.
Fight the ones that you believe in.
See these women talking. Brother Tetteh, you and I just we're in good company here.
Well, I'm
when I
just
look
excited.
at it,
Yes.
there seems to be a slight disconnect in the human soul, and it needs just a little reorientation. Deep within, no matter what your race, creed, or culture, we are all looking for the same thing.
Yes.
Deep within. But the slight disconnect is this. We are thinking of getting what we want instead of birthing what we want.
Yes.
And from the point of nature, we see the tree does not attract or magnetize its fruits. The law of attraction does not work by the tree attracting fruits to itself, but by birthing its fruits. And it does so by doing what it is. The flowers exude their beauty. They secrete the nectar and they release their fragrance. And then these will naturally draw life to celebrate them as insects. And as the insects celebrate this fragrance, this beauty, and suck the nectar, they pollinate the tree, and the tree now starts going to the next level. It's life saying, I'm celebrating you. And when life celebrates you, it means you've given out something, life is celebrating, then it empowers you to be more. So the tree now becomes more by birthing out fruits. So, but the slight disconnect is, deep within, we all want the same thing, but we are not willing to express it. You want peace, be that peace. You want love, joy, wisdom, creativity, counsel. Everything you want is what you already are. So when you look within and start exuding these frequencies that you already are, then it's very easy for you to manifest them. But the well disconnect is, this is what I am within. The flower is saying, I'm beautiful, I have nectar, but I want to get something from outside. That's where the disconnect is. I want to get the government to do something. I want to get my parents to do something.
Yes.
I want to get my wife, my husband to do something. Instead of, I want to get me to do and be. I want to get my husband to love me. Why don't you change it? What may I do? In what way? What vibration may I exude? That will be the love that my husband will celebrate. Your focus is not about my husband must love me, my wife must love me. I must exude a frequency of love, joy, peace, harmony that my husband, my wife will want to celebrate. And when they're celebrating it, they'll be loving you.
That is very, very powerful. I just have to mirror that.
If it's
When
powerful,
you-
come to Agape. I'm speaking there.
Yes.
But no. Let me mirror that. So what Brother Tetteh is saying, because he has an African accent, and some of
Beautiful
you-
African accent.
a beautiful African accent is that instead of pressuring your husband or wife to love you, if you exude the kind of love that would attract him, then him or her, then you won't have to pressure them.
Don't
to
even
do that.
think of exuding the kind of love to attract him. Exude the kind of love you are. The flower doesn't care whether insects come to it or not. It simply exudes its beauty, secretes its nectar, it is being itself, and releasing its fragrance. When you do, you are naturally in alignment with nature, and nature will bring the right insect. Not all insects go to every flower. Every flower has its particular group or kinds of insect. And the flower does not care whether the insects come or not. And it doesn't know about which insects must come. Life knows. All the flower knows is to exude its beauty, secrete its
I like
nectar.
that exudes.
Yes, its beauty, secrete its nectar, and release its fragrance.
And
What are the three things you will also exude, release, and secrete?
I love it, and to put that even more so in human form, is that it is a known fact that people become what they believe they are.
Yes.
If you believe that you are not successful, then you will not live a successful life. If you believe that you are successful, then you will lead a successful life. If you believe that, in your phrase, you are loved, then that is what you will be. It is that coming to the real, that realness of, like you're saying, I'm just repeating what you're saying, of being who you were born to be, and like what Carolyn was saying, being who you was born here to be, and not relying on others to make that for you. But
And
that's
that is
the
where
hardest
the problem
thing.
is. Most parts, belief is founded on what other people make for you.
Yes.
So belief,
yes.
your belief even in yourself is dependent on what others have said you are. Because we've not had nature's education that will enable you to see you as you truly are and feel you as you really are. One of the sciences I teach is feeling the you within. When you can feel, because the you within, feeling will always tell you the truth about it. And when you choose to even ask yourself, what do I feel I am? And you begin to just feel you, you will touch the real you, which is not dependent on what your mama, dada, or caregivers said about you. Not what your teachers and environment said about you. Sometimes, observe, a friend teases you in school and you don't feel good about it, so you pick up that habit and put it on somebody else to tease somebody else. Now your belief now about you is that I am a teaser. Oh, but you are not a teaser. So belief itself is dangerous if it does not go with what feeling introspection. Know the signs of sending your feelings to find you, to tell you you.
To find you. Be you.
But also,
You-
yes,
you-
a tulip is not trying to be a rose. A daisy doesn't care what a rose thinks about it. It's about you being who you are and accepting you who you are and being the best you that you can be. Do you?
Yeah, you was about to
Do
say
you-
something, Carol?
I was going to say that we live in a society with technology that even has people liking what you say, what you do, what pictures you put up. So we really need to get back to a place of just knowing who you are
Exactly.
and not look for outside feedback, because that's really what the underlying challenge is that we don't know who we are. And if we know who we are and it's not received or applauded or praised and accepted outside, then we start looking for something else to be. And so I encourage, from a spiritual standpoint, to just stay in your own pocket and continue to grow. Sometimes you are in a situation that people may not validate you. They may not understand, they may not see, they may not appreciate, and it may be from their own challenges that they don't want to say something good about you. But don't turn away from who you are
Exactly.
to become something else that you're trying to manufacture to be in response to somebody else. So I want to take this moment and just share, Doreene and Brother Ishmael, if you can share some of the teachings that come through Brother Ishmael that approach this. Elet is one, the mystical truths are others. If you will expound on a couple of the programs that help people really get this kind of conversation.
There are many. ELED, as you mentioned, actually stands for Essential Life Education. And it's broken down into 4 parts. I don't know if you want to talk about it. Your gender, who you are as a male or a female, and who you really are as a male or a female. Not just, I'm a man, I'm a woman, but really what does that mean? And really understanding yourself.
At the core.
At the core. At the core. The second aspect of it goes into your persona, the gifts that you brought. Who you are and what does that really represent. If I am, say, a healer, as and when did I do these acts of healing? And acts of healing doesn't mean I'm a doctor. I can heal you through my laughter. I can heal you through a song, or you're a designer. And those gifts, and recognizing your gifts that you may not, so many people are love and they don't think they're love. And understanding how that works. And then it's your senses. Either you control your senses or they control you. A 5-year-old can tell you about that new car smell, but do you know what love smells like to you? Can you define what does love look like?
Yeah, that's I tell you a quick short story. I'm gonna bungle it up, but I heard a little while ago about that. And this lady walks outside her house, and it's 3 old men out front of her door, and she said, "Well, how are you guys doing? And would you like to come in?" It was 3 of them. One was wealth, One was you've heard it.
Yes, carry on.
Yeah, well, if you heard it, and one was love, and the other one was what? Success.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, and so when she asked, for those of you that haven't heard it, so she asked them to come in. So Wealth said, "Well, you got to pick one, and because we don't normally travel together, it's hard for us to get together." So she go in, talk to her husband. Husband said, "Well, why don't you pick success?" Okay, well, why don't we pick wealth? And then the niece said, "Nope. Why don't you just pick love?" She go out. Okay, we'll do that. Go outside. She said, "Well, Mr. Love, you can come in," and wealth and success followed. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Well, what happened?" The old man said, "Everywhere love go, wealth and success follow." And I think that's it's an old thingy here, but I think it fits perfectly in what you're saying there. Mm-hmm. So, anybody have any?
Yes.
You see, this science, essential life education. Oh, just this afternoon, I got in the news, you don't know, Reverend Doreene, that now the University College of Malawi is also going on e-led. All new intakes to the university will now be taking essential life education as a course. And this is amazing.
Now, what is that again?
The
Essential life education.
Essential life education.
Now, who developed that?
Brother
Well,
Ishmael.
you
That's
speaking
one.
with
That's
them.
one of your.
That's my 28th book.
Oh wow!
Right. And the 29th book is the workbook of that course. So that's what they are doing now in the university. So it's going fast. So you see, peace is winning.
Yes.
When you come to peace, for example, and then we talk about the census, you have to know who and what you are in your gender. Everybody is a male, female being. There's male, female in you. Then you have your persona and then your census. When we come to peace, we'll come to realize that if we can educate the senses to see oneness of spirit, there'll be peace. But this is so simple, it's eluding the world. Because the senses see separation. The senses see that you have different shapes of nose from mine. But spirit, we will say, different shapes of noses, but we are breathing the same air.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So spirit sees the oneness, the interconnectedness. Life gave us variety for our celebration, and now we use variety for our destruction. So I'll say, you are black, I'm white, you are green skin, you are blue skin, and so on. But if we were all one person, you wouldn't love it. We need to be different. Mm-hmm. When we have not studied how to celebrate the oneness that unites us. So senses see separation. You know, you cannot tell the sense of a side that tomato and pepper are the same because they are all red. Sense of taste will tell you one is hot and the other is cold. So the senses see separation. And I have a whole science that is very easy to teach, and we will begin to see the oneness that connects us. One of the games I do in my work, Growing the Empowered Child,
Yes.
is when we group, the children sit in group of 5, and then I will say my ideal world. You know, when children even have the best toys, they'll be talking about, when I grow up, I will do this. They always have a finer world than the world they see or they are in. So we allow them to speak of the finer worlds. When they do, then one child will tell the second child on the right or on the left. They may choose the way they want to go, clockwise or anti-clockwise. Now, my world, this is what my world can do for your world to make your world better. Then you also say how your world can make her world better, how your world can make his world better, how your world can make his world better. And it goes on this way. By the time they finish, there's a bond of love and fellowship. They begin to see their interconnectedness. I do this with children.
So we know it can be done with adults.
Oh, it can be done.
But you know, talking about the census, it's a fascinating, because I love talking about nature with you. And a lot of us don't realize in nature that nothing really touches. You and I don't touch. Right now you're hovering above those chairs because at an atom level, the neutrons and electrons, they will not touch. They're constantly resisting each other, therefore. But what happens is, it's the senses that gives us that sensation of touch. And I think that is a very powerful thing that you were talking about when you talk about the senses. And talking about that, people are walking around in pain. So how do they address that? Most of us, most people, most of us human. I don't want to repeat myself. You heard me, but how would you address that?
I have 5 major works. One is the Essential Life Education. The second one is what we call the Gospel of Liberation. That is
The Gospel of Liberation.
liberation. It teaches 2 sciences of the science of unity and healing the sense of separation, which we just spoken about. So the sense of scarcity, healing the sense of scarcity and the sense of separation. That is the Gospel of Liberation. Then we have the 3 mystical truths. Wow.
Yes.
3 mystical truths. Talk a little bit about that. Just a little bit.
They are the truths of nature. 3 simple truths, but each one is a whole process and a philosophy and a practice. And they embody every known truth or philosophy on the planet. For example, the first mystical truth is that you are here by the collective power of the entire universe.
Yes.
This simple truth will break down. You watch the ocean, you see the waves. Every wave is in the ocean by the collective power of the entire ocean. Is that true?
Yes.
If yes, then you are here by the collective power of the entire universe. Is that true?
That's true.
Now, when you begin to live from the place of I'm here by the collective power of the entire universe, you have stepped into your magnificence. In your magnificence, you will no more be part of the petty party in life.
Petty party.
In your life.
In your
In
life.
your life. You wouldn't be having a party with people who are pitying themselves and so on. No. So, and that's the way the world is going. When you step into your magnificence, you begin to see things as you should. And that is just one of the truths, the first mystical truth. And when you now step into your magnificence and you look at the errors and the faults in your life, they begin to dissolve. They wouldn't look good on you any longer because you are living from your core value. And that is the first mystical truth. Second mystical truth takes you to what we call the power centers. Everybody, we are run by 5 major laws or power centers. And you do want me to go through them?
No,
Oneness
we are
and so
going
on.
to. This is a
whole.
wonderful
this was
opportunity.
getting good.
But
It
there's
is
more to
wonderful.
come. And this is a wonderful time to talk about the fact that Brother Ishmael is going to be at Agape International Spiritual Center this coming Sunday.
Yes.
2 services at 9 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. and then followed by a 3-hour workshop from 2:30 to 5:30. And that is April the 23rd.
This very Sunday.
This
very
coming
Sunday.
Sunday from 2:30 to 5:30. And the title of the program is The Power of the Past, Using the God Feel of Love to Heal Your Ancestral Roots. So it's a powerful program that I know you come out. You're not going to get all of those 5 major works, but it will be a beginning of what Brother Ishmael does. And he'll have all his books there that you can get to read and have him sign. And in addition, Doreene can tell you about some of the other places he's going to be in Northern California and Southern California.
Well, first of all, regarding the 3 Mystical Truth course, we actually have a new class that's going to be starting up on May 1st.
Yes.
So everyone can join us. It's
Around
a
the
daily
world,
class
yes.
around the world. It's an international class. And it's live Pacific Standard Time at 6 a.m. But the replays of it are available 24/7, 365, where you can join us for a 30-minute really session, teaching and session with Brother Ishmael. And I guarantee you, in showing up, whether live or in
Spiritual
recall,
workout for your morning.
exactly, or your
What is the
afternoon
website?
or your evening. If you come to Conscious Humanity at I'm gonna say
.com.
.com, or you can email us at conscioushumanity@gmail.com to get more information. We could totally send it out to you. It's a donation-based course, but it is so powerful, and it really, if just listening to it, transforms your life. Now, in regard to other places that he's speaking, if you're up north, on the 30th of April, he's going to be speaking at East Bay Church of Religious Science in Oakland. The following Sunday, which is, I want to say May the 6th, and I should put on my glasses so I don't flub this for you.
Yes.
May the 6th, he's going to be in
May
the
the
Santa
7th.
May the 7th. He's going to be in the Santa Cruz area at Light Ministries. Following that, may I? Following that, on May 13th, he's going to be back in the Oakland area at East Bay Church teaching. If you'd ever want to spend some time being taught by Brother Ishmael live, and you are or can be in the Oakland area, you can also come, and he'll be teaching from 9 to 4. And again, if you contact us at conscioushumanity@gmail.com, we can send you information on that. We have a wonderful, powerful retreat that we're doing with Brother Ishmael.
Miss it.
If you've ever wanted to spend time with him 24/7, and I mean 24/7, because you don't sleep. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity from Friday, May 19th through Sunday, the 21st, to spend with Brother Ishmael, transforming your life.
You are a busy man.
He is here for planetary peace, and to do that, you've got to stay busy, lad.
And is he in Encinitas?
He will be in Encinitas on Wednesday,
the
27th, speaking An Evening with a Mystic. And definitely you have to contact us for more information, because I don't have the address for that place. It's called Eve Encinitas, and I may be off, but I could definitely send you that information if you have an interest.
Absolutely, yeah. Jarvis, how much time we got over there? Okay, good. We're good. We got about 10 minutes to go. This is going by so fast.
Yes,
I know.
And I'm so enjoying this.
Let me share a bit on the retreat.
Please.
Because there's something very dear to my heart. Many people are disconnected from nature. We are all nature beings. Your body is nature. The food you are eating is nature. The air that you are breathing is nature. Everything about you is nature. Yet we are disconnected. How many people can speak with the earth? Can you hear the voice of the earth? Are you aware that this earth knows you by name, and it can respond to you in some specific ways? These are some of the things I want to teach, so that you are spiritually in alignment with yourself. You see, we live in life, and most times we just borrow people's vibrations. Because we are not in harmony with nature, we borrow people's vibrations. You've done this several times. We call it second image. When you were a child and your brother was praised, now you wanted to dress like him or behave like him, so that you are also praised. So in other words, you are stepping into somebody else's image. We do that into adulthood till we get lost. When even you're growing up and you change your name, did you tell the earth you have changed your name? Does the earth know of your new name? So you are now bringing some frequencies. You see, we are a bundle of spiritual electromagnetic waves. So we are always emitting some vibration. And these vibrations will have to be in harmony with nature. Question again. What is your name? The name you are using now is the name your parents gave to you. But what is the sound frequency of you, what we call your soul notes? Find your soul notes. Are you a do and mi? Or are you a do and fa? Find your soul notes to create your soul melody, so you are in harmony. When you find your soul notes, you can create your soul melody and be in harmony. So you get up and you simply vibrating you. When you are vibrating you, everything in life, in nature, is working with you. Life has sworn to its own self for its own highest good. When you are in alignment with life, life will do it for you. They've taught you to find what you want and focus on what you want. Sometimes they will ask you, what do you want in life? What do you know? So you want to know what you want? You can never know. The truth is, you cannot predict the thoughts you are going to think 5 minutes from now. How do you then think you can know what you know or what you want? But you can come to the place of not knowing. We'll teach you the secret, so that the knower of life begins to know what you need to know through you.
The knower of life
begins to know what you need to know through you.
You know, Brother Tetteh, I tell you something kind of funny about that. I've been teasing with friends and relatives of mine, is that when I was 6 or 7 years old, I just knew by the time I got to be 21, I was going to know everything. I don't know nothing. I didn't know. Then I said, well, okay, well, when I get to be 40, I know I would know everything. I got to be 40. Now that I'm the age that I am, don't you guys go and look me up. Now that I'm the age that I am, I found out one important thing about Larry. I don't know. I just don't know. And I think, and I tease.
And you are in a good place. When you're in the place of, I don't know, in that place, you have touched a crevice. Cosmic wall has opened a door for you to start peeping into the cosmos beyond the barriers. And you begin to hear from the universe. These are some of the things we need to really give attention to.
And
As a nature being, you need to harmonize with nature. That's what we'll be doing at the retreat.
And I love this conversation. One other thing that I come, I think too many of us carry around this toolbox with people fixing tools in it, and we walk around trying to use our wrenches and tools to fix other people. And I've learned that I can't do that. I can't fix people anymore, but I can take some of these same tools and work on myself. I didn't say I could fix myself. I said I could work on myself. But I just think that is so profound what you're saying. Java, how much time this is going by fast.
It's going by so fast, and you inspired me to think about something that we have run away from. In visiting places in the South, I grew up in New York City and buildings and other places. And I know it's not the South, but I used to go to the South because my family is from North Carolina. And when people went to major cities, they thought that was where to go, where you should be going. And they threw away the gift and the beauty of the South, of the fields, of the dirt, of the animals. And I think we're starting to come back to understanding and appreciating, even though we're building stuff all over the place. But there is such power in nature that I know that everyone can look into.
Yes,
Nature speaks.
Because we come to the end of the show.
Yes.
So how you want to? We want to give everybody words. Give us some words of wisdom. Why don't we? Where you want to start with giving words of wisdom around the table? Would you like for Brother Tetteh to start out?
Let him start, yes.
Brother Tetteh, give us just a few words of wisdom as we close the show.
The wisdom I'll give. Join me this Sunday in Agape. So we start our journey. You see, I've traveled 17 and a half hours to be here for you. So that is the wisdom. Be around and let us explore ourselves. So we learn the science of feeling who and what we are. You can't know who and what you are because there's so much garbage in the mind, but you can feel to feel you. So come study it and find the wisdom of your own soul.
I love that. Doreene?
And trust that feeling. Trust that spirit that's within you, and also trust the universe because it will guide you. Listen to that voice. It's the first one. Trust.
And I would just say, wake up every day with a willingness to be more you and to let the spirit of the universe operate through you as love, peace, joy, and wisdom.
This hour's gone by so fast, Brother Tetteh. I mean, we're going to come and do some pre-recorded shows since you've moved around. I can have you on the show over and over and over and over again. Jarvis, where are we at now? 1 minute. Oh, we don't have time to do nothing else here. Well, we're closing the show. I just want to thank Carolyn for getting Brother Tetteh and Doreene here. Doreene, thank you. Good luck on many more commercials. Next, I want to see you in that walk up and get that Oscar, and the movie's coming.
Hey.
Brother Tetteh, you know I love you. I got to spend some time with you. But as I close, is that there's a thing called Johari's window, and it's what we know about ourselves that no one else knows. But then there are things that others know about us that we don't even know about ourselves. And there's things about ourselves that we and other people know. But there's things that we don't know. We don't know. Don't be afraid of not knowing that. And find that fertile ground and become that seed that will come and grow and be that tree that'll bear that fruit. Remember, this is Larry Yates. A nation can rise no higher than it elevates its woman. Love you. Next week.